match here. So going to be pretty cool to hear them here. They recently learned just yesterday that they're going to be invited to the International Guaranteed, so that's got to be good for them. And yeah, now I do have Ake here with me. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's going great. A bit shaky, but
yeah, I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine. Yeah. So yeah, what were you thinking in the last few seconds there, especially that last big team fight there at the Roche pit?
It was really hard to see like if we were actually winning the fight or if we were losing. And there were like buybacks flying to the right and the left. So yeah, but after we got the two RPs off on the Jugger and the Knicks, I think the fight felt pretty good.
Definitely what sealed the deal there. The fact that he was able to survive long enough was a miracle in of itself.
Yeah, indeed.
So
I was actually thinking that he was really dead, and I saw the Jugger take the Eggies. So at that point, it didn't feel that good, but then we just turned it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very effective there. KSI did kind of vacuum out of the static field, but even then, it was only a couple seconds extra bought. And one way or another, there's so much chaos going on. And that was an amazing game, honestly. Just it looked so darn bad from the beginning, like you were down so many kills, and then you bounced back.
How much gold were we behind?
I'm trying to remember the full amount, but it was well over 10K. Like it was ridiculous.
I guess.
Yeah, it was. I'm not exactly sure what it capped out at, but it certainly was a very difficult match. So, yeah, coming back from that, of course, that's Game 3. That sets you up for the Grand Finals. So you have taken down the winners, and you got a one-game advantage going into the follow-up best of 5. The remaining two teams, of course, are still Virtus Pro, who have the chance to bounce back, and Team Liquid. How do you feel about your chances going into those?
It feels good, I guess. It's gonna be a hard game for them. Both Liquid and VP are really good teams. So I guess we're just gonna see after they play and prepare for that.
Mm-hmm. So in this matchup here, a lot of unorthodox drafting coming out of Virtus Pro. They pick up a Zeus, they pick up an Outworld Devourer, they just so many different weird things. And I'm not sure if you saw this strategy before, but I mean the Juggernaut Lifestealer, obviously not something you commonly see together in that fashion at least. What did you think about all these different strategies?
The first game, when they picked Zeus and Zeus, we were kind of looking at their draft, and we were thinking that if we just survive the first night without losing too many kills and not losing too many towers, that we were gonna come out of on the top there. So I was focusing a lot on teaming around and pushing out lanes, and also to set up wards. I bought 6 wards so early just to prepare for their gangs. So the NS didn't get out pretty much anything during the night, and he didn't farm that much. So I think that's why we won the game, because we played pretty passive.
Yeah.
But the strat worked pretty good. The Zeus ult to the Nature Prophet ult was dealing so much damage. EGM actually managed to steal the Zeus ult so we could see their smoke. That was pretty big. When we were going top 5 smoked, and he had stolen the Zeus ult, so we saw them go there. The second game, we kind of failed with the laning and stuff, and Obsidian was really good pick versus Puck. But yeah, we couldn't get anything bottom since we died. We traded 3-for-1 kills in the early, so, and mid was getting pretty raped as well. The Puck couldn't do much versus OD, so the OD was a really good pickup.
Mm-hmm.
That game. The third one, there wasn't so many. Yeah, the Jugger support, SF was actually calling it because he had seen them play it before as a support, so we were kind of knowing what they were gonna do. It worked out pretty good for them. I think the ult is really annoying, and the healing ward is really good as well.
Mm-hmm. So what was your main focus going in against that lineup? Was it just try to not get close enough to be dream-quilled and vacuumed, or were there other higher priority things like focusing somebody down before they made an impact on the fight?
I'm not really sure. We just tried to not get picked off too early in the fight, and I don't know. We were so far behind after we failed so many gangs and fights. So I don't know. It was really bad for us. We played really bad the first half of the game, so we were really surprised that we actually could turn it. It was a blast that missed the Nikes in 1 centimeter, so he survived and turned and killed 3 guys and such small things like that. But
yeah,
when we got the yeah, I don't know. We split push a lot with the Fury, of course, so that pretty much made us maybe to get into the game to prolong them from pushing too much with the Call Blast as well and stuff like that. But to the fights, yeah, I don't know. We didn't like have any specific strat. We just tried to bait them into getting good RP off, and yeah.
Yeah. It looked like that. There were a lot of different times where like you guys just jumped on it. Like you had one person that had no plays being somewhere to the point where like Loda even BKB'd and got glimpsed back. I don't even know if that was intentional, but it sure worked as far as getting them to really want to chomp down on one person and setting it up for S4 to come on in there.
We even had Aegis there as well, so it was pretty safe for us.
Mm-hmm. So how much of that was tactical, where you just like say, go on in, we can follow you up?
Well, the BKB wasn't maybe that planned. But it was planned, so Loda could bait with the Aegis. Like when he popped the BKB, they actually went on him, and we wanted them to do that, so it was good. Like, I don't know. It turned out well, at least.
Yeah. As far as how do you feel that you can like grow? What's the best way to grow as a team? One person's asking, like games such as the last one where you're fighting from behind the whole time, you have to make that comeback, and every single moment is very tense. Is that the opportunity for you guys to make the most improvements as a team, or is it when you're trying out different things and being more experimental, or just how do you feel in those situations? Do you feel you're growing, or just making sure that you're holding on?
Well, I guess it's both. Like you will always get into different situations when you play. Like I have never experienced with a team before, like so many turns like this game, and was this game against Dignitas that we turned as well, like the Throne Race or whatever.
Oh yeah, that one.
There's been so many close games lately, but we're just trying to keep focus throughout the game, even if it's going really bad for us. Like this game, it was like 17 to 4. So I guess it's both. Like you have to prepare for games like this, and also try to come up with new strats like VP did here. I mean, it worked out good for them, and it's really nice that you can surprise the enemy with different strategies and stuff like that.
Obviously there's a lot of different opportunities to try to make things happen, whether on a player-by-player basis and just trying to disrupt the team fight individually, or I gotta say your communication must have been on point, because you guys just made it work so many times. There must have been a couple of frustrating points though, like the point where you're pushing down the tier 3 top and they had like 3 buybacks, you guys had the one from the Nature's Prophet. Do you feel that you were okay with the fact that you forced out 3 buybacks, or were you frustrated that you just couldn't take the racks and they volleyed up with a couple of kills outside the base with the puck?
We were okay, I guess. Like after they buybacked, we were pretty safe, so they can't like push. They can't do any hectic like decisions since they don't have buybacks, and we managed to kill them like I don't know 3 or 4 guys. So and also if they use buyback, they lose a lot of gold. So it was fine since we didn't have to counter buyback to defend, so we could just wait out the times. So it was okay. We didn't lose so many, and even S4 managed to get out after he blinked and skewer, so that was very well played by him.
So a lot of the heroes picked up here were very unorthodox. I mean, the Templar Assassins kind of found a resurgence, so it's a little bit more common. But the other stuff, the heroes we saw today, Outworld Devourer, Zeus, those kind of things, do you expect them to be picked up more? Disruptor, that kind of thing? And what about other new heroes, like the ones that are being ported into Captain's Mode, either this past patch or the upcoming one?
I think there are gonna be a lot of more heroes played, like especially Drow and Tusk are pretty good, I think. Like they can fit in some lineups. The Obsidian pick is also very situational. It can work really well against certain heroes. The Zeus I've been a big fan of lately, but it's hard to make him fit in since he's pretty easy to gang, and but he deals a lot of damage, and the ults could be good as well. So yeah, I think people are gonna experience more with heroes, especially when it's coming more and more heroes into the pool. So that's opens up. And also Disruptor, I'm not really sure why he hasn't been picked so much lately, because he has really good spells, especially when people are starting to pick Furion a lot, or not starting, they picked Furion a lot lately, and it's a bit counter to it since he can't rely on the TP and stuff like that. So yeah, I think people are gonna pick more not that many, heroes like that has been picked lately.
Sure. So there'll be a lot more diversity in the pool, and that's definitely going to make things more interesting and, of course, make things more challenging for you guys. You said that S4 kind of had seen the strategy before, but other than... I'm not sure, did you guys catch the game, Virtus.pro versus Team Liquid? Game 2 was played yesterday, and it was after your all's match, and they pretty much ran one of their 2 games, that exact strategy, that exact composition.
Oh, okay. I think that was the game that S4 was watching then, I guess.
Cool. So, but nobody else... so that was still a new strat to you. Did you think that it was a little bit overwhelming? Obviously, you guys had a huge kill deficit.
Well, the healing ward counters Coddle pretty much. Like, they can still push even if I blast, so that's a really good hero and spell to counter a hero that's usually picked pretty early in the draft. And as I said, the ult is really good and can stop TPs with BKB and stuff like that, so people can't farm that far out and rely on the BKB TP. And that does a lot as well, even this small stuff.
So a lot of awesome turnaround games, whether the game 2 from Fnatic yesterday for you guys or this one here, also stuff you're mentioning, games from Dignitas, a lot of awesome games where it looks like you guys are down and out and then you turn it around. A lot of those games, Magnus certainly helps as far as making those plays happen, especially S4 running him specifically. But do you guys feel you have a stronger late game mindset? You guys have a better way of playing a little bit weaker in the early game but bouncing back in the late game? What do you feel adds to that kind of happenstance?
I don't know, it's a hard question. I guess we just keep focus throughout the whole game and not like think, oh my god, this is over, we're so far behind. So we just try to find openings to get back into the game. Maybe it's also that the opponents are being like more chill, that they really think that they're gonna win, so we can take advantage of that and turn the games.
So a lot of it you would say is a psychological difference?
Yeah, I guess like sometimes you make stupid decisions when you're ahead a lot, and maybe if we get one of those opportunities, we will take it and turn it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of worked out so far in those kind of different situations, just kind of finding always that opportunity, that window where you guys can go on in and make something really cool happen. Do you expect that to be kind of something people can expect from Alliance, where they can never count them out? They're the team that can always jump on and pull it back? Is that like we're going to see like in the International, you guys are just like about to be eliminated on the ropes, and then suddenly some awesome play? I definitely think it brings out a lot, so man, that's cool. Other than that, do you have any other thoughts on like the international invites and things like that? I was talking to Loda, and he was able to announce it on the stream, which was pretty awesome right when that came out. What are your thoughts on the whole deal?
I think it's great. The invites really make sense. All of the teams that are invited have been like proving themselves. I really think Navi will receive an invite, even though they haven't maybe performed that well lately compared to how they did before, but they still have the win from the TI1, they have the second place from TI2, they have the win on the EMS LAN, so they will, I would say, like, I'm really sure they will get one.
Sure.
And then there's other invites that aren't that sure, so it's going to be really interesting to see the last teams, like the maybe last 2 teams that will get the invites.
How do you feel about the fact that some of the last 2, the wildcard one will be based on the runners-up of the qualifiers, duking it out in a final right before the international itself? Do you feel that's going to give you guys less opportunity to prepare for one of those 2 teams, or you're still going to just look at their matches as a whole and find those styles?
Yeah, I think it's okay. There's still a lot of teams to prepare on, so then it's only going to be one more team, but it's really nice that they will bring the teams. I didn't know that they were going to do that, but if they're going to bring the teams to play there, it's a good start on the tour.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Just a LAN show match right off the bat to decide the final last-minute qualifier. I think it's a really great idea, so that's a cool way to jump in with all that other stuff. Do you have any other thoughts on the whole International 3? I mean, it's all kind of right up there, impending pretty quickly.
It's a bit early, like if you compare it to the last one, maybe 3 weeks earlier or 2 weeks. So there's less time to prepare, but I think now when they announced it, people are gonna start to prepare and actually like start practicing more than maybe they did before. Because when it's announced, people start to think about it more than they did before. So I'm hoping that we as well gonna start to boot camp when we get the gaming house and start to play and practice for it. Even if we won a lot of games lately, so you can't really chill and not practice more. And there's a lot of tournaments ending now. We only play in the G1 League and the TPL right now. I think it's the we play as well. But other than that, it's not many tours that we play right now. So we're gonna have a lot of more time to practice, which is cool.
Absolutely. So, looking at the International 3, comparing it to the International 2, we saw there were a lot of heroes that were specifically like they were a pain in the neck to deal with, and they were kind of like the top tier. This guy owned it. And specifically, I'm looking at Morphling and Naga Siren. If 6.78 doesn't change an immense amount of things, who would you see being that dominating force? Maybe like a Troll Warlord when he gets revealed?
I'm not really sure exactly how big of impact those heroes will have, but I still think Bat is a really, really strong hero that will be picked a lot during tier 3 if it's not banned. Also Magnus and Furion it's really, really good heroes that works in a lot of strats and can be played in a lot of ways. But I'm pretty happy that the Morph and the Naga isn't as strong as they were before. I think the Morph games wasn't that fun to play, especially not when you play support, when you get one shot at and you can't really move out because you know that you're gonna die and he's just gonna TP away, so you can't kill him. It was pretty boring to play against Fed Morph with the shotgun.
Yeah, you just pretty much, you get to be a spectator once you go down the grave. You just be like, don't feed, stay with everybody, and you don't get to branch out.
If you didn't die 10 times, you were happy.
Sure. But, yeah, I mean, that obviously was a frustrating thing. Not so much now. I mean, we see a couple of the Asian teams picking him up. But honestly, I don't think he's going to be super top tier, just kind of one of those niche things. What heroes do you think kind of share in the mid-2 meta games right now? The Western one, European and North American, and that of the Eastern ones, the Chinese and Southeast Asia. Do you think there's any heroes that are highly prioritized in both?
I haven't watched that much lately in the Eastern scene, but I guess, I don't know. I can't really say anything about it since I haven't watched that much. But the only thing that I'm pretty surprised of is that they don't pick Wisp.
Yeah.
Even though we lost the second game when we picked Wisp, like the Wisp has a really high win rate when we play it at least. But I guess some teams start to know how to counter it, but I'm really surprised that it goes through the whole picking and ban phase like every game when the Chinese play. Especially when you looked at TI2 where there was some Chinese teams, was it eHome that picked it all the time. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised they don't pick it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those dynamic heroes. I don't exactly understand the reasoning behind it, but it's just, it's a different priority system, of course. There's still some, you mentioned the Bat Rider, the Magnus, those are, of course, still going to be valued no matter where they go. Actually, Lifestealer is pretty much like the top-tier carry for them. Do you have an opinion on why it's not as valued? I mean, still valued among different individuals, like Fnatic picking up for Era, and you guys picking it up for Loda occasionally, and then TC does it really well. So what do you feel about Lifestealer, and do you think he's going to be, like, one of those big carries, or just kind of he's another option on the field?
He's gonna be a big carry. It's a really good hero with a BKB, like free BKB, and Infest Gang is so annoying. I think if they would change the Infest as it was before, they can only infest creeps and stuff like that. Because I think that's one of the reasons that makes him so good, that you can, like this game when they jumped into Puck and he gets into the fight without a blink, and so yeah, and also on the lane he's impossible to gang if you just rage TP. So it's a lot of stuff that makes him really, really good. So it's a pretty safe carry, and it's also good against a lot of carries if he just goes and bash them and stuff like that. Just
thinking about TPs, it brings me back to one thing that was happening in Game 3. You, of course, were Keeper of the Light, and there was a point where you were hiding in the trees TPing out, and Omni Slash hit you but didn't interrupt. What do you have to say about Ice Frog about that?
Maybe he Did he press it on me? Like use it on me because it only interrupts in the first hit, I think.
Yeah, it does indeed. But it actually went on through. It hit you once, but your TP still finished in that last millisecond.
Oh really? I didn't see actually.
Yeah, it was so weird.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, I guess then.
Fun little thing. Thinking about that last game 3, one thing was some people are curious about the Knicks Assassin pickup. You were up against like 2 heroes that can be immune to magic, and obviously Knicks wouldn't be nearly as much of a factor, but I think you still picked it up for your number 3 pickup. What was the mindset behind that?
Knicks can be really good in like a set of lineups. EGM wasn't that happy playing it in this game. He was at like 0-8-0 or something, but he was still putting pressure on them. I think that's one of the biggest thing, that the enemy always have to be scared for the Knicks gang, and they buy sentries and invest in a lot of stuff like that, and yeah, that they are scared for it. So even if he didn't get that many kills and had that such big impact on the game, it does a lot, the psychological things.
Sure.
But yeah, he did like late game as well versus the Darkseer, the mana burn deals a lot of damage since he has high int and also on the puck. So yeah, it's okay hero wise.
Sure. So yeah, obviously you can't complain about results. You guys took it away so darn well in that game 3 that it's just it was really in style. The way those last fights worked out, it was really, really good for you guys, especially considering the deficit you were at. So that's really, really cool to see that come into play. And of course, I wish you guys the best of luck in the grand finals. Do you have any other things you want to hit on real quick, or do you have any shout outs you want to give?
I can give shout outs to my team, to my girlfriend Bumi, to my family, and to our sponsor Alliance and Racer. And also shout out to Naga, who is the Stalker 2 player and playing in the DreamHack Open right now. I hope he does great and win it.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. And, of course, awesome friggin' games. That was some of the best Dota 2 I've got to cast in friggin' forever. So very, very happy to be able to do it. And, of course, very happy that you guys were able to pull it out and make it to that grand final. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And, yeah, good luck with that one. And
see you.
Good games. See ya.
Thanks.